Welcome. This is the Men Church Stuff Podcast. This is the show where brothers-in-law DJ Culp and Brad Coleman talk about stuff from our perspective as men. It's a show for anyone who wants to hear how Christians interact with the world. And don't worry, we're real. We've grown up in church, and we want to share our experiences with you. We'll talk life stuff, church stuff, man stuff, and stuff. Here we go. Greetings. Welcome back, listeners here and there and everywhere all across the land. This is the Men Church Stuff Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, DJ Culp, as always, here with my beloved brother-in-law, Brad Coleman. Brad, the last time you and I were hanging out together, we were both feeling like we got hit by dump trucks.
It was pretty bad. Did not go as planned.
No, it didn't. It wasn't even close. So, listeners, first of all, Happy New Year. We're back at it now.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So sorry that we have not had an episode out for you guys in the last 2 weeks. Christmas, as a point of update, Christmas did not even remotely go the way that Brad and I had shared with you guys. I felt just good enough to be able to go over to my parents' house where Brad and Tabitha and the kids were, and I guess we hung out there for just a couple hours, made it through unwrapping Christmas presents and eating some dinner. We talked a little bit, and then we went home. On Christmas Eve, the flu visited the Culp household, and we were out for a week and a half.
Yeah.
And so when we came over to Mom and Dad's house, what was it exactly, Brad, that you were dealing with?
I had a sinus infection.
You had a sinus infection, because I never found out.
Yeah, we were pretty sure it was because we had gotten a lot of toys that came out of an attic.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to learn when we're doing that, because of my sinus surgery, I breathe really well. Well, because of my sinus surgery, I breathe in really well.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So I'm a lot more susceptible now to like that dust and stuff that may be in the attic, coming off these things. We had to clean these toys quite a bit. And so didn't even think about it. And so we think it just kind of set up an infection. So a couple days after that, I went to an urgent care down there. They gave me a steroid. They called it a sinus cocktail shot.
Yeah, right.
And
I've had them.
Man, it cleared my head up, and they put me on an antibiotic for 10 days. And so, yeah, it was just a sinus infection, but it just made me feel just awful. And so,
Yeah.
I ate a few bites of dinner, and then I went to bed.
So
I felt horrible for doing it, but I was like,
I mean, you don't have to apologize to me, man. It was everything I could do on Christmas morning to keep my eyes open for about 45 minutes, or what felt like 45 minutes. I mean, I had a temperature. I'm guessing I had a temperature around 101, 102 on Christmas morning. So as the kids were opening their stuff, I mean, it was I was just trying to keep my eyes open on Christmas morning. It's the first time in my life this has ever happened, Brad, that I just actually wanted to go to bed.
yeah.
I would have been okay. Obviously not really, but I mean, I just felt that crappy. But I was thinking, if we open presents later, I'd be fine with that. I just need to go to bed. But once Tylenol kicked in and brought my fever down, I felt better. But so that evening, I was just so out of it that we were. I don't even know if I was done eating, or if where I was in the process of the meal. But I looked up and you were gone. Seriously, I had no idea you even left the room.
Yeah.
So listeners, the whole buildup before Christmas, that Brad and I
Yeah.
were going to play lots and lots of Rail Baron, that did not happen. Um, we got to spend, just a handful of hours, which was better than nothing, might I add, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Um,
was. And the time we had was good.
it
And,
was,
see the kids being excited and, getting to spend a little time. But
yeah,
yeah, definitely, yeah, wasn't our best.
no. And I don't know about you guys, I don't remember, but Brad, this is our very first, and I hope last sick Christmas.
Yeah.
So Addie had the flu, gave it to me. I gave it to Shara. I had it the worst out of everybody. Shara had a really light case of it, but I mean, she still had some fatigue, some body aches. And Shara gave it to Zoe. Out of the five of us, Noah was the only one to avoid anything.
Mm.
I have no earthly idea how he did, but I do want to say this, and I mean, like on the podcast, let it be known there is power in prayer, Brad.
Yeah.
Based upon
Absolutely.
how I feel based upon how I felt the day before and how I felt not just the day after Christmas, but like 2 and 3 days after Christmas. I was not well. I'll put it that way in the bathroom on Christmas morning, and I heard Noah praying, "Dear God, please don't let Daddy get sick anymore, so that we can open our Christmas presents." I did
Mhm.
not get sick again. And then he prayed later on that day, "Dear God, please help us to go to Nana and Papa's house so that we could see Nana and Papa and Uncle B and Aunt Babby and Carrie, Beth, and Isaiah and Hannah." And I felt better.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, based upon how I
Mhm.
felt the day after Christmas. And I know that we came and saw you guys the day after Christmas, but like, the I should say, I guess I should say Christmas Day, and then like 2 days after. So that one day that that we were going to spend with you guys anyways was the only day that I actually felt good enough to get out and about.
Mhm.
That right there, I 100% attest to Noah's prayer. 100%.
Yeah. In the faith of a child.
Like, it was amazing. Um, so yeah, listeners, sorry, but we are back at it now. Sorry that we've kind of been absent. Um, and to that point, um, Brad, let's go ahead and let's get some coffee time going on.
Coffee
Coffee
time.
time. Let me cue the music. So, as you guys are regulars are well aware that here in Jackson, Tennessee, we have a collaboration with the Green Frog Coffee Company. They are a Christian coffee house. They have a menu that would make you think that they're a restaurant. When in actuality, they are a coffee house that simply sell food. Their food is excellent. Brad, I did not know that you could put blackberry on a hamburger. Dude, it is stellar.
Mm.
So good. Um, and yeah, hand dipped ice cream. They do a full array of coffee and specialty drinks. So our code word to get you $2 off for Monday. Let me get the date right. Here we go. Oh, I can't do it that way. What's Monday? Martin Luther King. I know that.
Oh,
Monday, January 20. There we go. Monday, January 20th. The code word is New Year. Newyear, New Year. Tell them with the Men Church Stuff podcast, code word New Year will get you $2 off in store and online all the live long day. Where built on Christian values, where their coffee is so good that even a snowman would drink it. And actually, that's the reason that we didn't get. Now I say it, that's the reason that we didn't get a show out this past week, is because the snow hit, and I can't really record at home because my children. Well, you would hear kids, lots and lots of kids, and thumping and running and jumping and screaming and all that kind of fun stuff. So we avoid that whole thing. So today, Brad, it is a listener special. Um, as I mentioned several weeks ago, that we had a chat of end of year reflections. What are some of your favorite Men Church Stuff moments from the 2024 year? And as promised, to the listeners that responded, we'll give you a shout out and let other listeners know what you had to say. So the first person, Brad, was actually your wife, my sister. Shout out to Tabitha Coleman. I almost said Tabitha Culp. Tabitha Coleman. She hadn't been Culp for a while. Her favorite moment was the slideshow presentation from DJ's students.
That was pretty epic.
That was a big one, no doubt. It's still like a thing around here at Union, Brad.
Yeah.
And might I add, I found out, unbeknownst to me, no joke, I found out that one of the students that headed that up is actually still collecting quotes, and I have actually heard the some of the additions. So if you want, Brad, I'll be happy. Like, maybe towards the end of the semester, if you want, I can give you an update on that
I
if
think we should definitely do a round two. Yeah.
around two. Um,
Let me tell you something funny about your professor at Union.
yeah.
So Carrie Beth is, she's a sophomore in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So she's starting to really think about those things. And she was leaning toward Eastern. And now she's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, I was talking to a friend who's in like college. And she was like, well, she visited this university down in Tennessee that she really liked. She didn't go there.
Hmm.
So I know all the situation, right? So I was like, yeah, that's Union. She visited Union. I said, you know, that's where your Uncle DJ is a professor, right? She was like, really?
That's awesome. Yes, I do work
Um,
there.
I was like, yeah. I was like, you should totally go to Union. And then,
Yes, you
you
should.
can have Uncle DJ in class. She was like, yeah, I don't think that I would like having Uncle DJ in class.
Actually, she would not have me in class unless she was a music major,
Yeah.
and then she would have me in class, and I would love having her in class. Not because she's my niece. I love teasing Carrie Beth. It is one of my favorite things.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, it was a interesting awakening for her of, oh,
That's where he teaches.
yeah,
That's
well,
fun.
that's the one.
So our next listener here, Mr. Joey Moore. Shout out to Joey. Glad that you're a listener of the show, Joey. So Joey's a fantastic trumpet player here in Jackson, Tennessee. I've known Joey for several years. He was an adjunct here at Union for a time, but Joey Brad has really fallen in love with the show because, as he put here, because Brad, of the way that you share the good news of Jesus. And he actually specified at any time Brad shares the good news of Jesus. So you are having impact, sir. Joey and I had coffee
Mhm.
at the end of last semester, and he just wanted to talk about the show and kind of give me his experience, his testimony, kind of thing. Really great guy. But he really really loves your insight, Brad. As do I. I mean, love hearing you talk, man.
Well, when the subject matter is like, the most amazing thing ever,
Ever.
it's harder to miss on that.
Yeah.
I mean, the greatest gift of all, the source of love, our God who loves us and wants to save us from ourselves,
Yeah. Right.
wants us to be sons and daughters of God, and wants to take his enemies and make them not just his friends, but again, just sons and daughters. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's it's uh it's hard not to. It's like if I was a diamond salesman and you were selling paper clips, I would people would probably be more excited when I showed up, especially if I was giving out free samples.
Yeah. Which
And
doesn't happen, by the way.
yeah, yeah, right. And the gospel is so much better than diamonds and gold. And so yeah.
And paper clips.
Yeah,
Gospel's
definitely.
way better than
Even
paper
even better than diamond paper clips.
diamond paper clips. All right, Kathy Reeder, wife of faithful listener John Reeder. John, what's up, man? Um, Kathy Reeder simply wrote, "I love hearing the two of you banter back and forth."
That's good 'cause there's a lot of that.
There's a lot. All right, um, Brad. One of the things, and here recently, I've had several conversations in the last probably 3 or 4 months. I've had several conversations about me and you, and the thing I love about you, man, like by relation, you are my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Dude, you're my bro. Like you are
Yeah.
really my brother.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I love that our friendship is way more
Yeah.
than just we're friendly and you're married to my sister.
Yeah.
And what's cool is it really has evolved. I don't know how to say it. It really, I think, surprisingly to me, it almost evolved sort of out of nowhere.
Mm.
Um, so when you were still working at Walgreens and Dad was at Walgreens and me and Cher would come visit, I remember one night specifically, you and Dad and I think you were toying with the idea of ministry, but you and Dad were talking in the living room, and I was sitting there too, and I remember thinking, I have nothing to say right now. Like, I mean, there's nothing that I can really contribute that would deepen the conversation. And and I'm just going to say it, man, at that point in time when you and Dad were really starting to connect, um, there was a point in time where I was actually jealous.
Mm.
And I mean, it's like I loved you. It's not like I held you in contempt. I mean, it wasn't anything like that. But as 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 like time progressed, really just kind of out of nowhere, you and I just started really getting close.
Yep.
And dude, I love you with all my heart, man. I really do. So,
Yeah. Well, and I love you. And I think that the great thing I think about us is we do have so much in common. And at the same time, we're polar opposites
Polar.
in so many ways. But that works,
Yeah.
And I think that we don't let our differences like separate us. I think again, we laugh about it.
Mm-hmm.
We tease each other about it, and those things. So yeah, I think too that our relationship as we've recorded the podcast, I think we've got closer and just developed a closer friendship and brotherhood, through this as because
Yeah.
we're getting to know each other better. And that's one of the things I guess we're kind of getting to know each other better and we're talking about stuff and we're bringing other people along. It's like, hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
you want to come to our little sitcom and listen
Yeah.
to our
Sitcom.
nonsense
Right.
and the gospel
And the
and
gospel. Yeah.
some awesomeness and some really bad punny jokes.
Bad, bad, bad jokes. So, I listeners really far and wide, we love you. We really do. And we are thoroughly honored that you tune into the show. But I really want to call this the way it is. Whether you listen to the show or not, Brad and I, like, we really did feel that we had some things that we could share that would edify men, women, families, pastors, churchgoers. But I mean, really, when it boils down to it, this is really an opportunity for me and Brad just to hang out some more.
Yep.
And I'm sure that it's probably been said at some point in the show, but how Brad and I talk when we record podcasts, like, dude, that's how we talk in the boat fishing. That's how we talk
Yeah.
that's how we talk, around a game of
Yeah.
rail baron or just shooting the breeze, sipping coffee.
That's what Tabby said. She said, every time I listen to the podcast, it's just like sitting with you guys in a room.
Yeah, right. I mean, we're not changing anything, you know. I mean, there might be a format, but this is just me and Brad talking. This is how
Well,
it works.
when we're talking on the boat, we don't go, well, listeners.
That's true. We don't use the word listeners. That's true. That's right.
Hey, fishies,
Hey,
are you
fishies.
listening to our conversation?
Hear ye. That's right.
Should come and
Um,
check us out in the boat.
so the last one, and I'm so glad that he commented. Steve Chappius, Chappie, dude. Brad. There's going to come a day where Cher and I and the kids are going to make it up to St. Louis, and I'm going to get to
Yeah.
meet Chappie. I have
And
like
yeah, and Steve's awesome. He's an awesome guy. He got a
I
great
want to meet
heart.
Chappie so bad. Because it's like to me, his name is Chappie. I know
Yeah.
that everybody calls him Steve, not to me.
Yeah.
And I want to meet a man named Chappie so bad. I don't know
And
why, but anyways,
and yeah, you won't be disappointed. He's a
yeah.
great guy.
Well, good. So, Chappie comments, "Merry Christmas to you and your family. All your chat with you and Pastor Brad are awesome. Just keep up the good work and spread the word. God bless." And um, one of the things that we are as Christians that we are challenged and obliged to do, charged to do is to take the word and share it in. This is my own take, Brad. So like, I'm not going to say this is theologically sound, but anytime that I think about like when Jesus tells Peter, you're a fisherman, I'm going to make you a fisher of men.
Mhm.
I have always, like the older that I've gotten, I should say, I shouldn't use the word always, but as I've gotten older and reflected on that, I really feel that thinking and reflecting on fishing. Actually, I was talking about that this morning in one of the music ed classes I was teaching. If you claim to be a bass fisherman, you don't catch anything else. I mean, I
Mhm.
suppose you might by accident, but I mean, you're not fishing for catfish or brim.
Yep.
You're only fishing for bass.
Right.
And if you fish for catfish, specifically with it, Brad fishes for catfish, you ain't going to catch anything unless it's the kind of catfish that you really want
Right.
to catch.
That's right. Even the small catfish are out.
Yeah, yeah, they're out. It's like, man, I mean, that looks tasty, but I don't have the stomach for that.
Yeah.
But anyways, to me, when I reflect on our show and on other podcasts and how how Christ lives in me and how he has built me and made me and wired me. I think just spread the good word or keep up the good work and spread the good word. Like I just feel that the way that you and I share the gospel, and this goes to what you were saying earlier, is so different,
Mhm.
but it's the same message.
Right.
And to that I really love hearing how I think if I were to make a comparison about how you and I think about Christ and the Holy Spirit and how we convey that and relay that information, yours is absolutely the way a pastor thinks because you are one.
There is one. Yeah. Yeah.
And I one of the other things that I love so much about the way that you think about Jesus is not as a pastor, but just as a or even a theologian or somebody thinking about theology and doctrine.
Mhm.
I just think like I love how it's very down to earth. It's poignant,
Mhm.
um, and it's applicable. I think for me, I'd like to hear you on this. In terms of comparison between me and you, I think for me, I'm always in search of the practicality and the application. I heard it put this morning, like making something abstract concrete is
Mhm.
something I'm always in search of. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I could definitely see that as something of you. And again, we've talked about this before. You have a sense of precision, right?
Mm,
This preciseness is that a word?
it is. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
and you like pomp and circumstance.
I do like I do like pump. I'm
And
not pompous though, am I?
no,
Okay, good.
well,
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, no, I mean, like in general, no. I mean, I
But
think
I
we
do
all
like
have,
pomp. I do. Yeah,
yeah.
you're right about that.
Like, so, like, I don't know if you've thought about like the marriage supper of the Lamb, right? Like, so the Revelation talks about, this great feast, marriage supper of the Lamb that,
Yeah.
and so I don't know how you envision that, but I think it probably is very different from what would be important for me with that. Just with some of the things that we've talked about, the way we look at fancy and
Yeah, right.
and all that. Um,
I mean, he's not going to have ramen there if that's what you're thinking.
I, you know, I don't, and at the end of the day, it's like I
Ramen and
could care
Chef
less.
Boyardee, baby. That's how Jesus
I don't,
rolls.
I don't care. Throwing out the Little Caesars pizza.
No, I'm out. Like,
You can be out because, and yeah, I'm not trying to jab you, but I'm not there for the food at that point.
I mean, that's true. You're right. And I wouldn't be
I'm there
either.
for
So, but
there
I
for
don't,
Jesus.
I really don't see Jesus saying, "Welcome to heaven. All that you could ever want is here, and here's Little Caesars." Like, I just don't think that's going to go down.
At least not for you.
Yeah, that's right. Jesus is going to tell you,
DJ,
you ever,
DJ, here is this huge fancy. There's a different fork for everything.
I just want you to know this has made my job so easy. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, Brad,
Like,
Brad, here's your table over here. It's just gonna be me and you sitting there. Get you some Little Caesars and a jalapeno cheddar dipper, and I'm like, oh, I love you so much, God.
oh, that's
You
hilarious,
just
man.
you get you
That's
get
so good.
me.
Yeah,
You get me. This
you
this
get
is
me, God. You
this
get
is
me.
the best. But I think so. Again, I think that comes out in a lot of the way that we think about other things. And it's not that either one is right or wrong.
Yeah,
That
that's
there's
right.
it's just different.
Yeah.
Um, because we both love Jesus. So when we share the gospel, that's going to come out.
Hmm.
We're going to we share his love. But but the way that we are looking at some things is different. So we're going to get a different perspective. And God is so big that like we can't even imagine really defining him in his entirety anywhere close. I mean, we can't even, not even his shadow,
Right.
like the complexity of God. So I think that's the beautiful thing too about how we're the body of Christ, right? So we're going to be serving the same God,
Yeah.
who receiving the same gospel, but it's personal at the same time, you know.
Hmm.
So my relationship with Christ and your relationship with Christ have the by the fact that Jesus died for us on the cross, he rose again, and the faith that we have put in him, we've accepted his invitation, right? So we have the same gospel. We're going to go to heaven and be received because of Jesus, what he's done, right? So same reason.
Yeah.
We got to go to heaven. We haven't earned it. But yet our lives are very different. Okay, there's a guy that goes to my church who was telling me like and he's a construction worker, big beard, but he's like, I just find it like bikers, these big tough biker guys. He's like, I just find it easy to talk to them, and they find it easy to talk to me, and you know, and I'm just thinking like those are guys that would probably never be, most of them be having a conversation with me.
I don't know, dude. With that, like
I know I have the
like,
beard.
I mean, you got the burly beard, especially,
Yes,
and
but
it's
then I'd
and
open my mouth.
that's true. Yeah,
So you
but
guys like Mario or Sonic better? And maybe I'm making some wrong like
So,
assumptions. Maybe they'd be like, I'm a Luigi guy myself,
that's
you
right.
know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, haven't you seen
Yeah,
Tangled? I mean, there's
yeah,
that whole
yeah.
situation of all the rough
That's
guys. I mean,
that
they've
is
all
a
got
great
dreams.
scene.
That's
That
right.
is a
Yes, it
great
is.
scene. That's for
Um,
me, that's probably the best part of that movie.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Right, right. But
well,
never judge a book by its cover. But
yeah, yeah,
my point is there's people that I'll be able to connect with because of my personality, because of these things,
right,
and be able to share the gospel that you won't, and vice versa.
and vice versa. Yeah,
Yeah. And so I think that's one of the beautiful things about our relationship with Christ.
yeah.
Just think about the woman at the well who gets it in her story as she goes and shares, versus um, you know, Mary Magdalene or Peter,
Or even Peter.
or
Yeah, right.
yeah, or Matthew. Like the, and some of that we get to see, right? Because we get the four different representations of the gospel.
Hmm.
They're all the same gospel, but they're very different.
Very
Well,
different.
three of them are a lot more like than one, but
It's true. Um,
ironically, I like the one that's different. Or maybe not ironically.
See, I actually like Luke the most, and it makes sense. Like I love the idea. I love the approach, not the idea, but
Yeah.
the approach that Luke brings
Mhm.
of basically, if you will, he really had a hands-off approach. He was like,
Yeah.
"Look, I'm reporting what everybody else saw. This is narrative
Yeah.
of everyone else's experience with Jesus." Um,
Which is pretty accurate because again, it's Luke is kind of writing that down as
Yeah. And
secondhand.
and I know that when he writes Acts that it does
Right.
begin to change because he gets involved in the story directly.
Yeah.
But again, I really love
Oh, that's a good point.
I, right?
Yeah.
I love how Luke and this is how my brain works. I love how Luke says, "All right, everyone stop. Here is how Jesus exists
Mm.
and how he impacts the community to someone actually that granted he was around, right? And he
Mm.
had those personal experiences, but I see Luke as like a prominent community member
Mm.
rather than a part of the inner circle. And again, things do change in Acts, but yeah. So, anyways, that's just how my brain works. Like
Well, and part of the reason I love John so much is because one, John focuses on the deity and the love of God.
yeah,
That's love. But two, you have more discourse between Jesus and other people. Like there's more conversation
yeah,
than in the other gospels. Like there's more
right,
conversation meshed out. Like over here, it may reference that story, but in John, he's going to give you more of the dialogue.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is what Jesus was saying.
right,
And so for me, I love that. And just like we're talking, I love that when Jesus talks to Nicodemus, when Jesus talks to the woman at the well, when Jesus talks to Peter, that he's sharing the same message of the same gospel, but he approaches it differently. The
right.
method that he uses differently. And I love that. Like
And to and to me, Brad, that's right there. That's part of, or if not even if not part. Well, I guess it would be part because then we can look at our personal relationship and our
Mhm.
experiences. But I think that goes back to what Jesus was telling Peter. I'm going to make you fishers of men. You can't just say the same thing over and over and over again and just expect everyone to buy into it because if again you
Yeah,
like thinking about fishing, if I want to catch largemouth bass,
yeah,
I can catch one on a worm. Man, it's going to take a long time.
yeah,
Assuming that I don't change the way I'm fishing, right? Now, if I want to catch brim or if I want to catch catfish, I mean, I can use worms all day and like because that's what they go for. Yeah, but the sportier fish, I have to change my method. I've got to change the way I'm thinking. I've got to change the way I'm doing. Um, So, anyways, um, real quick, Brad, before we go, um, let's see. I've got four questions drafted up here. Tell me which one you want to ask. So, what are some of your favorite show moments of 2024? What did you enjoy the most about the show in 2024? What about the show do you love the most? And then, what are some of your goals for the show in 2025? Which one of those? What do you want to chase?
Are you asking me to answer
I'm
the
asking.
question
Yeah,
or ask the
yeah.
question?
No. Which, yeah, like either any of those questions are for you.
Yeah. Um, let's go with the last one.
What are some of your goals for the show this year in 2025? I'm
Yeah.
listening.
Well, one, I want to see us continue with consistency.
Yeah.
I mean, and just doing that. I would love to see the show continue to develop. I have no idea like what what it's going to continue to look like.
Yeah.
And I'm small town guy, which DJ found out recently is even smaller than he thought.
That was a funny part of the show.
Yeah,
I went back and listened to that, and I was cracking up.
yeah, yeah. So I think in a lot of ways I think small. I want to think start to think bigger,
Hmm.
but at the same time that scares me
Hmm.
because I don't know what it looks like. I mean, I don't fit when I show up to fancy dinners. So, um, but I want it to continue to be just something that is impactful as that is helpful.
Yeah.
I want for people to listen. I want them to enjoy it,
Right.
but I want them to get something out of it.
Yeah. And that's always been, the
Mhm.
part of the part of oh, I almost had it. Part of the nucleus of the show, like the impetus to even get the
Yeah,
show going,
right.
was I want us to have fun. We're going to. It's impossible for us
Yeah,
not to.
right.
But I want it to be meaningful for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on the same page, man. Really, across the board with what you just said. I want our listenership to grow.
Yeah.
Um, Not for the sake of us, but I think that, all right, thinking about fishers of men,
Mhm.
it is absolutely impossible, no matter who you are, to produce a podcast where weekly shows every week impacts everybody. Can't do it,
Right. Right.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
and again, fishers of men, I can't use the exact same bait across the board.
Mhm.
I mean, I might catch fish using the same bait, but I'm not going to catch all sorts of different type of fish using the same bait. So like, um, I don't want a larger listenership for us. I
Mhm.
want a larger listenership just because, like, I think that what we have to say can impact people in different ways.
Yeah.
And there are going to be some shows where our, for all I know, because I know I'm this way with some of the shows that I listen to. There might be some episodes that don't connect with our listeners, our
Yeah.
normal listeners at all.
I'll skip them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Who
If I
cares?
like, I've done that. I listen to an ADHD podcast. It's probably one of the few podcasts that I listen to, like managing ADHD. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, no, I don't need this.
Yeah, not
This
today.
isn't, this is not for me.
That's right. Yeah.
Skip.
Um,
Go to the next one.
and so, um, but I really feel that what we are, what we talk about, what we're willing to talk about, and how we take our conversations can really impact and continue to impact people. Because shoot, man, they impact me,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's that
Yeah.
again. That coming down to it, anybody, this is Proverbs, right? Anybody who thinks themselves wise is a fool already.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that I said when we got the podcast even going is I learned this early on in my own studies that the more that you begin to know, the more you should begin to realize you don't know.
Yep. Yep.
And so, I mean, yeah, every time that you dive into something, either it affirms something I've already believed, it refutes something I believed, or it's something I've never thought of, so I really do want that for our listener base. One of the goals that I have for the show, and I don't know how to do this because I've never done it, and I have no idea how much time it's going to take. I really want to offer our listeners some merchandise. There's something. So listeners, I'll say this for Christmas, we do draw names. Brad and I and our family, we do draw names. I got Brad this year. And I got Brad several coffee cups, but one of them was a customized men's church stuff coffee cup. And Brad and I, if you're a regular to the show, Brad and I, you will know, will not ever stop talking about coffee. And we really do want to share that joy with you guys too. And it's cool to have your own business, if you want to call it that, on a product. So that's something that I would like to see. But listeners, one of the things that we need from you is not just continued support for listening. Always, please, we can't have enough interaction. Interact with us, contact and interact with us. But also, what we need from you guys is to continue to share the show with other people. Let folks know that our show's out there. You can rate and review us on iTunes, or Spotify. We actually are bigger on Spotify, I think, than we are on iTunes. Share the show. Let folks know, that it's something that you listen to.
Pray for us.
Pray for us.
A lot. I mean, I want to get on as many perpetual prayer lists as I can.
I can't be prayed for enough.
Yeah.
You're right. But listeners, to that end, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Again, we're back. It's so good, Brad, to record again. I have missed you, my brother. Listeners, I have missed recording podcasts knowing that you guys are going to listen to it. I really have. So we're back. Remember that if you're in the Jackson, Tennessee area on Martin Luther King Day, January 20, you take the code word to the North Store of Green Frog Coffee. The code word is New Year. Thank you guys so much for being supporters of what Brad and I have felt like God has presented to us. We're going to continue to push forward, as Brad has mentioned, with consistency. And if you guys want us to talk about something, anything, let us know. Depending on what it is, we might take a while to get to it, as we experienced with the Women in Church Leadership, which, by the way, was the number one listened to show in 2024. It has quickly gotten to the fourth most listened to show that we've put out, Brad. So, beyond that, Brad, I love you, buddy.
Love you too.
Listeners, we love you, and we will catch you next time.
See you later.